So this is a little dry stack wall. It's this outdoor kitchen. It is made mostly with scrap material. All right, there's one side put together. Back. Hey, this week's video, we are back to working on the outdoor kitchen, and this is part 5. So a few people have been asking about the outdoor kitchen when we're going to get back on that project, and so here we are. Going to give a quick recap about what we've done so far because this is part 5 and it's been a while since we've been on it. Let's see, it was last fall. We got into winter time and just kind of had to quit because of the weather. So this gravel area is all nice and flat right now. This used to be a hill coming down through here. We cut into the hill, brought some of that dirt forward and tried to level it out. You can see the cut part of the hill back there yet. We're going to continue that out to meet the other slope. We put a retaining wall here. So this is a little dry stack wall. It's about 2 feet high, and we built that here to help hold this back. The dirt behind the dry stack wall, we got this wide landscaping fabric and basically laid it on the ground, draped it over the wall, put a bunch of dirt up against, and then pulled it back to as tight as we could, and then put more dirt over top of that seam. So it's really almost like a bag full of dirt. So if it wants to move, it's got to move the whole thing. And so with that and the dry stack wall in front, it's not likely to go anywhere. And once that was all in place, we built our screen to block sun, give us some shade. And with our screen, you'll notice behind me here and over here, the posts are extra long, and the reason for that, we were thinking we might someday make this into more like a pavilion, and we'll put some more posts going out, and then we'll attach onto those and put a roof on here. Now, they're really high to have a roof, but the reason I'm doing that is we have a porch near here, and we have windows from the house, and I want to be able to see through this thing. I don't want to look out the window and see a roof on a pavilion. I want to look through it and see beyond it, so I don't want to block my view. So yeah, it's kind of tall for a pavilion, but yeah, maybe that's a future project. That's not going to be part of this build right now. The screen wall is what it is, and it's going to stay this way for now. One thing about this outdoor kitchen is it is made mostly with scrap materials. We had some old wooden ramps that were in this location, and we actually took those out, saved all that material, and built this behind me with that. And we did have to buy a couple of posts to help make the posts for the wall, but other than that, it's mostly scrap material, and just about everything's dug out by hand, actually. Yeah, all the excavating that we did to make this flat is dug out by hand. We have another dry stack wall down here underneath, and that just to make an edge, basically. All right, well, that's enough of a recap. Time to get started. So if you watched our videos, we're building a massive dry stack wall, and I got some gravel up here in the outdoor kitchen, and we need to move that because it's kind of in our way. So we're just going to spread it out here and try to make this nice and level so we can get started on building something. All right, so we spread some gravel out. I didn't record it because it's kind of boring. Who wants to watch somebody spread gravel? So here's our sink cabinet that we built previously. I forgot to show that in our recap. And we got a grill as well. We're going to build a cabinet coming out across here. Kind of make like a bar type deal. Except we're going to go with regular countertop height. We're not going to go with a bar height countertop. It's going to be regular countertop height. And if we want to sit on the other side, we'll make some short stools for that. Or maybe we'll just buy some. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So the countertop is going to be about 7 feet long, and about 3 feet wide. It's going to have a concrete countertop, same as the sink does. And that is like 2.5 inches thick. And it has like a 3-inch overhang. Looks like 3 1/4. So it'll be very similar to that. All right, might as well get started. I need to get 4 of these reclaimed 4x4 posts to be our legs for our table. All right, first thing I got to do is square these off, because some of these were posts on the ramps that we had, and the top is angled. Can't have that. It needs to be straight. All right, this one here was an old fence post. There's some fence staples in that. Probably going to be pretty hard to pull out. We'll just knock them in and add to the character. Yeah, reusing things, it will just add to the character. I've designed a lot of furniture for a lot of furniture companies. We've used rustic barn wood, reclaimed wood, stuff like that. Resaw it and make furniture out of it. All right, so I said I want my countertop to be 36 inches, and that's the width, and I want a 3-inch overhang per side, so I need to deduct 6 inches. And then my posts, I'm going to cut these to go between the posts, and the posts together are each post 3.5, so 7 inches. So I need 23 inches, 4 2x4s at 23 inches each. And most of them do not have square ends. I don't know if I should trust any of them to have square. Ooh, that one's square. Ooh, that's a good start. Okay, well, that's got a lot of, that end looks like Swiss cheese. Let's see, this one's good. We'll start with this end. Cut it to 23. Maybe I'll just mark them all first and then just cut them. So normally you'd use a miter saw or chop saw, as it's also known, to do that. Get your ends nice and square, and I do have one of those, but I'm not using that. In this series of videos, I'm using the kind of tools that most people have. Most people would have a circular saw, but not the more expensive saws. So that's why I'm using this. And this is for outdoor stuff. This isn't like fine finish furniture. So yeah, this will be fine. You don't need expensive tools to do this. This is actually pretty simple. You can draw a straight line and follow that straight line to make a cut. You can do this. All right, next thing we're gonna do is lay our stuff out here. It's best to have some table or flat area to work on. So anyway, we're gonna assemble our sides. So I need to move some of this stuff. Make life easier out of my way. I want to be 4 inches up from the bottom, kind of like a toe kick. This will be the bottom, so I'll start here, 4 inches up. Yeah, you can do it with a tape measure or whatever. So I want to recess this board. I want to inset from the post. So I need a piece of scrap. I actually have one here. Oh, that's perfect. It'll work without being cut. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that here. That's 1.5 inches. It'll raise this 1.5 inches. So this will be the back side, and this side will be the face. So I want to put this down, and yeah, we'll screw in from here. All right, we'll line up there, find a couple of screws. So you want to put them in on an angle so they catch right. The easiest way to do that, start one a little bit so you got a little hole, and then you can angle it how you want. And they just go right in. Once you get pretty good at that, you don't really have to do the little hole first, but whatever. And it's a very similar kind of deal. Put it on. But this time it's going flush here. And we'll find a piece that doesn't look too bad. Put that side down. I'm going to put a third screw in the top. Just feels like it needs it. Alright, there's one side put together. Time for the next one. Alright, there's our other frame. Ready to go. Alright, I got a couple 2x4s here that I need to cut. I just remembered on the sink cabinet on the upper side, we used 2x6s instead of 2x4s. But on this countertop, I'm using 2x4s. Why the difference? A couple reasons. I'm out of longer 2x6s, so as far as I know, I can't find any. But I do have some reclaimed 2x4s, so I'm using those. And another reason is I don't want the top board to hang down all that low, because if somebody is sitting there, I don't want them to hit their knees on a piece of wood. So we're going to go as narrow as we can. We're going to use 2x4s. Okay, now we're going to put those two 2x4s on. So while I'm doing this, you can probably hear my sons in the background. They're making a set of stairs together. So that's what they're working on. Yeah, our board's twisted a bit, and oh, it's actually the board itself is warped. So our spacer isn't going to help us here. The other side's right, but this side obviously is not. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to guesstimate our space at the top. And I'm just going to put the top in. Now we're going to try to untwist the bottom while I put the screw in. Are you able to untwist that? See if you can twist that. Alright, let go. Let's see what it does. It still has some twist in it. We'll just say that's part of the character of it. Alright, next thing I want to do with our table or cabinet base is I want to put a piece down the middle and on top and bottom, and I think I'm going to put a center post in when I do that as well. And I thought I was out of 2x6s, but I actually found two that'll work for this. So I'm going to put one on the bottom upright, and the other one I'm going to put on the top, and I'm going to put it flat so it once again doesn't interfere with somebody sitting. Get up. Get back. Let's figure out where we actually want it. Let's start off with aligning it with that post. So you saw us put some big boards on the bottom of the posts. And what we're going to do is clear away the gravel where those are sitting at. Once we've cleared that gravel away, we'll have it sitting down on our weed mat, and then we'll bring the gravel back in. So that'll kind of cover those boards, and that'll help hold it in place, because it really is just sitting there. It's not really attached to the ground. Whoa. First. Here's where we're at so far. We buried our little footing type boards on the bottom. So we dug out underneath each one of those footing boards and got this thing to sit level. And then after that, you know, we stuffed rocks in, the ones that needed it, removed some, whatever, to get it level. Now we put rocks over top of those, and now it's in there pretty good. I mean, it's almost like, it's not like it's attached to the ground, but it's in there very well. It's got at least 1.5 inches of rocks over each one of those boards, so it's held down pretty good. We need to get the top prepared and ready for concrete, and we'll put some formwork around on here, and we'll get it ready, and we'll pour a concrete countertop just like we did on our sink cabinet. There's our sink cabinet. That's turned out pretty nice, I think. Got to get the sink in, get the water connected. All right, let's check up on the boys' stair step project. Hey, those look pretty good for being made out of scrap wood. Yeah, those look all right. Yeah, they do real nice work together, I think. So these steps are only 2 feet wide. They don't need to be any wider. They're not going to get used that often. We're hoping to put a smoker in on this platform back in here, and basically that's so we can get down here so that we can access the where you put the wood in. Well, it's another fine day, and we're back out here again. We've got the countertop table frame put together, and this is what it's looking like so far. And this board stays in place permanently. The center board does, and this other end as well. These boards are removable from underneath, and so are these. And what we think we're going to do is put cardboard over top of this, going from permanent boards on this side over to that side, try to bridge all this. I think cardboard will hold up for these gaps. They're not very big. The gaps are maybe 2 inches, 1.5, 2 inches, something like that. So I think cardboard is strong enough to bridge that. We're going to staple it down to the frame. Then we're going to put our forms on out around to get our edge. We got our cardboard down on the top, and now we're going to start our formwork. And we're not going to record it in this video. If you want to see how we're doing the formwork, we're going to do it the exact same way that we did in part 4. So if you'd like to see that, go back and check out that video. So here's what it looks like with the formwork all in place. And you may notice that we put these screws through into the permanent boards. That'll help hold the concrete countertop in place. It's another day now, and we are going to pour our concrete slab. We're going to pour our countertop. They do make a countertop mix for this kind of stuff, but we're not using that. We're using the cheap stuff. All right, every seam, every joint where water could sneak out, we have taped. I think it is going to work well enough. This is what we did when we did our countertop for the sink, and we didn't have running out and running down the sides. So we're going to try it here again. We try to go with a fairly dry mix, and that should help as well. But the idea here with the tape is we'd like to minimize any of it running out and discoloring, you know, the wood or anything else. Anyway, looks like we're about ready to get started, so we'll start mixing up some concrete and pour it in here. All right, let's make it happen. Turn on to make it happener. It does look like there's quite a bit of water on top, and some of that is because if you've noticed us vibrating the forms, that's to let the air bubbles out, and that also makes the water rise to the surface. Even though we taped, we do have a couple places where water ran back out, right there and there, but there's very few drips on the ground. You can see there's one there, there's a couple there, very few though. So we used 6 bags of concrete here. We bought 7, but we used 6. The calculator online said we should need 6.5, so we're like, we'll get 7. Those are 6 80-pound bags, so 480 pounds of concrete. I'm not really worried about the weight of it on our table. I think it's going to be strong enough because the weight is on the post. And we did add a post in the middle, so we actually have 5 posts taking that weight. So some of our smaller children had this idea that they actually got from another channel that we like to watch as a family, and that's called Montana Haven. And they did some countertops in their cabin where they put animal footprints in. So our children would like if we could try to stamp some animal footprints in this countertop, kind of like how they did. So we'll see how it goes. All right, we're going to try a bear track here. So there's that, and you try to make the front one. See that? Yeah, put some toes in there. Yep.
This one's supposed to be a horse print.
Oh yeah, you got a horse? So let me see your horse print. Is that your horse right there? Mm-hmm. Well, that's a little horse, but it, yeah, kind of looks like a horse. Okay, so it's been like 48 hours and I want to get these forms off of this countertop. We probably shouldn't have waited this long, but we did. It's been raining a lot and it's even raining today. So we're not sure what all we're actually going to get done, but we're just going to start going and at least strip the forms off while we have a break in the rain. Set it down. There it is, new concrete countertop.
Oh, Papa.
There's some of our deer tracks. They don't look too bad. We have 2 bear tracks. There's one. The other one is really faint, hard to see.
And then there's a third one.
Oh, there's a little bear track. Well, they turn out okay. So I have to take a sander to this. We have places like this. There's a little groove here that's got to come off. We want to round this corner. And as you can see, some of this edge here, this is what we get for using the regular concrete. If we would have made our mix a little more soupy, maybe we could have gotten in a little bit better. It's a little bit like that on the sink cabinet as well. The edge, you have little pits and holes and things in it. For us, that's okay. It looks rustic. You know, this is outside. It's rustic, and we're trying to do this for low cost. So some of you may have noticed that we didn't put any reinforcing in this slab whenever we poured it. And yeah, that was an oversight on my part. I had a whole bunch of little rebar pieces for years, ever since I built this house. I just had tons of them, and I thought I had plenty left, and here I used them up somewhere. Well, my boys did, actually. And so whenever we're ready to put them in this slab, I assumed that I had some, and I did not. So we just poured the slab because that's how it was. So it's been raining, everything's really wet, and the sander is basically a no-go. It's the kind of thing we're just going to have to wait until everything dries up and the slab dries out some in order for us to sand it. But we'll sand the surface the way we did on the sink cabinet. We did the same thing on there. Well, this video is getting a little bit long, and so I think we're going to stop the video here, and we'll make a part 6 then eventually. Since we are working on the outdoor kitchen again, we might tend to try to stay on that. Not sure at this point. We do have a big retaining wall that we're trying to make out of stone as well. So there's that. And there's a lot of things that we'd like to do as well. Just go have some fun, huh? Mm-hmm. So we'll see what comes out next. Maybe the next video will be the next part in the outdoor kitchen, or maybe it'll be something else. Thanks for watching.
Check out the links in the description below.
That does support our channel and help us continue to bring you this content. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We put out new videos every week, every Friday morning. And if you'd like to receive notifications when we do upload the next video, hit that notification bell. And check out our channel. We have several videos just like this one or very similar. We do various things including hiking, biking, boating, fishing, builds of various kinds, mostly outdoor activities. Some homesteading is thrown in there as well. This channel is for the experience. We do these things for the experience of doing them and to show others how you can do it too. We try to be fun and entertaining while being educational all at the same time. Sometimes these experiences are done for the first time, and other times they're things that we do all the time. Sometimes we do things just for the fun of doing it. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.